If you grew up an auto enthusiast like me, there's a high chance you'd have wanted to get behind the wheel of a Mini Cooper at some point in your life. I mean, look at the heritage. James Hunt had one, Niki Lauda had one, Jackie Stewart had one, and it even has a rally heritage, having set blazing times at the Monte Carlo rally multiple times thanks to its small footprint and ability to go fast and keep its wheels on the ground. The Mini Cooper we have today may not be as small as the tiny microcar that gave it the name, but it does carry forward the same ethos. A small, convenient car that goes fast and handles well. The car we are reviewing today is the third generation of the Mini Cooper, albeit with a facelift in 2018. What it gets is LED tail lamps, LED headlamps, and a few styling features to make it look more like it is from 2018. Everything else stays the same. Now, the 2018 edition of the Mini Cooper S does look a lot like the third generation of the Mini Cooper on which it is based, but it gets a few tweaks here and there to ensure that it is more technologically forward. These include the LED headlamps, LED tail lamps, and a few design tweaks to make it look like a new, refreshed car. That said, the Mini Cooper does still look smashing. I love these two racing stripes along the bonnet, and I love these two massive air dams at the bottom. Everything else continues that very circular, well-rounded ethos with strong design lines along the body to make it appear wider and more like a two-seater sports car that it is. But remember, this is the Mini Cooper S Convertible. So, once you drop the roof down, it starts to look a whole lot better and much more exciting.
On the inside, the Mini Cooper gets a contrasting black and white theme with rounded dials all the way around that give it that really youthful vibe. Each corner AC vent is round and is paired with a squared off central vent that breaks the monotony of the rounded shapes. The infotainment system is set in a large rounded lit console that will grab your attention the minute you get into the car. Another cool addition is the pop-up HUD that adds to the Mini's mojo the moment you switch it on. The square-shaped gear lever isn't ideal. I'd have preferred a rounded one, but it isn't really a factor since you only use it to put the Mini in reverse or get it into drive. There are just so many cool little bits on the Mini, like the aircraft style toggle buttons mounted above the rear view mirror. Every time you use them, you feel like you're about to take off in your own personal aircraft. The reversing camera with dynamic grid lines paired with a rear parking sensor make the Mini super easy to park too. That's not to say its dimensions don't help out either. The start-stop buttons and the mode selector and the traction control are all operated via similar aircraft-style toggles for extra oomph. The glowing red on the start-stop button is another thing that grabs your attention the moment the lights go out. And those speakers, woof! Strategically placed in the doors and the center console make for great ambient sound. The Mini steering wheel is a great fit in your hands and feels great to use, and gets red stitching all the way around for extra points. The rounded analog dials that give you speedo and tacho readouts add to the Mini's retro charm and don't look out of place even in 2019. All in all, the interiors of the Mini are undoubtedly cool and oh so desirable.
So we're finally behind the wheel of the Mini Cooper S Convertible, and that's where the fun really starts, because under the hood there's a 2-liter, 189 horsepower, 280 Nm torque petrol motor that really goes when you punch it. I mean, check this out. Exhaust sounds wonderful. One of the other things that really sets the Mini Cooper apart is the sound of that exhaust, those crackles and pops. It's all very dramatic and it all really brings you into that feeling of driving and that feeling of going fast. Something that really defines that Mini Cooper ethos. Step on it and it goes. Now, sending all that power to the wheels is a 7-speed automatic gearbox with paddle shifters, and it is one of the best gearboxes that I have ever driven in a car. It's very responsive. Just make one shift and it changes the gear, no questions asked. And that really makes it a hands-on, driver-focused performance car. And that's what I like about the Mini Cooper S Convertible so very much. Now you also get 3 driving modes in the Mini Cooper S Convertible. That is Sport, Green and a midway between the two that offers good balance of both sides. Now the Green mode obviously is efficiency oriented. It puts the power down and keeps everything very quiet and very nice like it is now. Flip the engine into Sport mode and that's where the fun really starts. The exhaust note changes, it gets a little gruffer, and when you put your foot down, it lights up like Diwali. Another thing I really like about the Mini Cooper S Convertible is the way it handles. It carries forward the Mini's ethos of being a great handling car that can zip through corners very, very efficiently. I mean, it is a serious driver's car. It will change positions with the slightest input from the steering wheel, and that is what is extremely important in a 2-seater performance convertible like this. All in all, the Mini is an oral experience. Slam the throttle and you get that wonderful crackle and pop as it goes through the gears. And it gets even better as you start to slow down with that wonderful little crackle and pop that lets you know you've shifted down. So in the end, is the Mini Cooper S Convertible a driver's car? Does it still carry forward the Mini's driving ethos of being a quick, fast car that will work both in rally and the track? Well, maybe the convertible version may not work on rally or on track, but yes, it does carry forward that really cool ethos of being a fast car that's zippy to drive, handles well, and can hold its own among much, much bigger and much, much faster cars. Now at 37 lakhs ex-showroom and almost 42 lakhs on road, the Mini Cooper S Convertible is not cheap. But the price you pay goes towards having a car that's really unique, super fun to drive, and super convenient to drive even in the hustle bustle of the city. Would I spend 42 lakhs on it? Well, if I did, I'd probably have one by now. Thank you for watching our video review of the Mini Cooper S Convertible. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Express Drives.